Edward Joseph Snowden was born on June 21, 1983, in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. His parents were Lon Snowden and Elizabeth Wendy Barrett. According to their marriage records, they wed when they were both 18 in 1979. The following year, they had a daughter, Jessica. Lon Snowden, like his father before him, served in the U.S. Coast Guard. He was stationed at its main aviation base, where his father-in-law, Edward Joseph Barrett, was an officer and a rising star of the Coast Guard. While Edward Snowden was still a child, his maternal grandfather would become not only an admiral, but also head of the Coast Guard's entire aviation service. When Lon was transferred to a Coast Guard base near Baltimore in 1992, he bought a 2-story house in Crofton, Maryland, a residential community very close to the NSA's headquarters building at Fort Meade. Edward, who was 9, and Jessica, who was 12, were enrolled in local public schools in Crofton. Jessica was a top student. After she obtained her degree at the University of Maryland, she went on to law school, graduating with honors. Unlike his sister, Edward Snowden experienced a string of failures in his education. In 1998, after only 1 year of classes, he dropped out of Arundel High School. According to school records, he stopped attending classes at the age of 15. He later attributed his absence from school to a medical problem, mononucleosis. But according to Robert Mosier, a spokesman for Anne Arundel County Public Schools, there is no record of any illness. Brad Gunson, who knew Snowden before he dropped out of high school, recalled in an interview with the Washington Post only that he had a high-pitched voice, liked magic cards, and played fantasy video games. Instead of completing a formal education, Snowden went his own way. Still in his teens, he became the product of a broken home. His parents were entangled in messy divorce proceedings until he was 17. By this time, Jessica had her own apartment. When his parents separated, Snowden's mother bought a 2-bedroom condominium in Ellicott City, Maryland. She moved Edward along with his 2 cats into the condominium, while she remained in the family house awaiting its sale. According to a condominium neighbor, Joyce Kinsey, Snowden stayed home alone almost all the time. From what she could observe, he spent long hours in front of a computer screen. At the age of 18, while other teens his age went to college, Snowden was still living by himself, now devoting a large part of his time to playing fantasy games on the internet. Posting under the alias The True Hoo-Ha on a website called Ars Technica, he showed himself to be a passionate gamer. He was especially drawn to anime, a graphically violent style of Japanese animation. These anime games had by 2002 achieved a fanatic following in both Japan and the United States. He claimed special skills at Tekken, a martial arts fighting game. He even went to anime conventions in the Washington, D.C. area. When he became a webmaster for Ryohana Press, a website running these anime-based games, he described himself somewhat fancifully as a 37-year-old father of 2 children. The only truth in his description was that he was born on the longest day of the year, June 21st. He wrote internet posts under his True Hoo-Ha alias about how he used weightlifting and intensive training to precision shape his body. He bragged to his online followers that he had reduced his body fat percentage to between 9.5% and 10.5%, which was less than half of the average for his age. He wrote that he wore cool purple sunglasses, practiced martial arts, and was a fan of Japanese cuisine. He described himself at one point, as if advertising his virtues, as having a head of vibrant, shimmering blonde hair with volume. He appeared somewhat restless with his solitary life in his almost daily postings. He expressed a longing to go to Japan. "I've always dreamed of being able to make it in Japan. I've taken Japanese for 1.5 years," he wrote in 2002. Despite his claim of learning Japanese, there is no record of his taking any courses in Japanese. But it was perhaps part of his yearning. In pursuit of an employment opportunity in Japan, he posted, "I'd love a cushy gov job over there." Eventually, he gave up on the idea of relocating himself to Japan because, as he explained in a post, he would have to put his cats in quarantine for 6 months.